Hi, Amanda here from Patchwork and Papercraft, and today I'm going to be using a magazine as inspiration to make a card. And the magazine I'm going to use is this one. It's Cards and Papercraft, Simply Cards and Papercraft, issue number 266, and that's the picture on the front. It came with a big pack. Look at the size of this pack of spring birds, it calls itself. There's loads in here. Look, there's cutter parts, there's loads of really pretty patterns pages as well. Okay, so that's what I've started with as the inspiration, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a 6x6 card. There's my 6x6 pre-made thing. I've chosen some pictures that I like, some of the cutter parts from that pad, and a couple of pieces of the paper, and I've got a bit of acetate here because I'm thinking of making it into a shaker card. Now, I know a lot of people don't like shaker cards, but you know, they do work. Now, this is a die from John next door, and usually you'd put it on nice and straight like that and you'd cut it out, but I think it might be nice to do it at an angle. Now the problem is, if you do it too much of an angle, you're going to cut the edges off, so it's only going to be a slight angle. I think let's try it that way around. Yep, I'm going to cut it off out like that. So okay, so we've cut that out. It's quite a nice little square piece there that I can use on another project. Okay, next I need to get this ready to be a shaker, and to do that you have to put your acetate onto the back. And now that I've cut it diagonally, I don't know that this piece is going to be big enough. Might be just. Yeah, just. I've just got to cut a little bit off the top here. It wasn't very straight, but anyway. Yep, that'll fit. Now, acetate doesn't really like sticking with wet glue. Hates it, in fact. So we're going to use some of this red tape around the outside. All the way around. My fingers are going to get in the way somewhat now, I think. But you'll get the idea. 2. Come on. 3. Whoops, that's not quite on right, so I might have to do something with that one. Let's see. No, it won't let me. Once it's stuck, it's stuck. Oh well. That's the last bit. There we go. Move that out of the way. Okay, so next up we need to really rub this down, because otherwise it won't make a good seal. Little lift, basically. It'll stick some places and not others. There we go. Right, and then we can take off the red backing. And make sure on the front of the card is there. Open it up, stick this inside, not on the front. go. Is that seal all the way around? Don't like it very much. It's showing a little bit. But we'll deal with that in a minute. Let me just cut that little bit off where that's showing over. These are not the best scissors to be using for that job. Check it still shuts. It does. So there's our acetate window. Now it's a bit sticky because the tape is showing through. So I'll need to do something about that, but I'll do that in a minute. It's actually fairly straightforward to do something about that by just having it opening as upright card. Okay, next for this shaker, I've got my design. This is the design that I've chosen. And I'm going to back it with a piece of white. That's not quite big enough. So I'll collect a piece of white paper, cardstock I should say. There's a piece of white from my stash back here. And I can never find white when I want it. And when I don't want it, I've got loads of it. There it is. Sorry about the noise. Oh, come here. Piece of white card. Oh, you can hear the pussycat meowing in the background. Wallace. Yes, I know. I'm on air again. Okay, so let me just mark the largest possible size this could be. There we go. So a tiny mark top and bottom because I know it's got to go under that. And that's absolutely fine. It's going to go about there. And I'm now going to glue that into place. And to do that, I'm going to use my glue press. Love. Very much an overload here. I use far too much glue. And I'm going to place it like so. And let it stick. I'm going to cut it out with the big scissors. Press it a little bit. All glues like a bit of pressure in order to stick. Right, so I'll pop that one to one side to stick for a moment while we carry on with this. Now, because I've cut it at an angle, it's going to make putting the paper around the outside a little bit more difficult than it should have been, because I should have stuck this first and then cut it out. Don't make the same mistake as me. However, it is what it is, and that's what I've done. So if I cut it out right in the middle, at approximately the same angle. There we go. I will try and cut this out and hope that it works. That's better. Okay, so now I've got an angled square cut out, which should be identical in size because I used exactly the same die. Okay, so all I've got to do now is glue it on. Glue it into position. pressure. Turn it over. And we can now cut off all the excess. Apparently, you like seeing me go wrong. I can't understand why, but apparently you do. So I shall leave all these bits where I've gone wrong in later video this time, and we'll see how we get on. Do consider giving me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. Of course, if you don't, then don't. Okay, there we go. Now, next I want to deal with this sticky situation, and this will fit lovely. It'll also hide the fact it's a little bit rucked up in the corner there. So if I put that on like that, it'll look great. So I'm just going to place that on the corner there. There we go. And the acetate doesn't really like glue. It'll take quite a while to dry, but the glue holds it onto the other parts. Okay, so far all we've got is a window card. It's a nice window card, but that's all it is. It's a window. So how are we going to change this into a shaker card? Well, first of all, we're going to go back to this, and we're going to fussy cut around it, give it a bit of a border. So I'm not being too worried about whereabouts it's going. It's not a proper fussy cut, it's just a rough cut, if you see what I mean. So it's got a bit of white all the way around it. There we go. And having done that, I can now stick it onto a piece of the inner paper, and I'm not sure, do I use this one or should I use more of this? I'm really not sure, because if I put that inside, I mean, that's roughly what it'll look like. I'm not so sure that I like it with the blue background. I think I would prefer to have the same colour as on the outside, or maybe that one. What about that one? That one looks good. Let's use that one. Okay, so first of all I need a piece of this the same size as the card. And sure, I could have used my paper cutter and cut it to 6 inches, but I didn't. I've only roughly cut that, I've not cut it properly. Okay, I'll trim that down at the end. Okay. Although, not far off. It's a tiny bit out on that side, look. There we go. Okay. So next, we want to place this so that it's going to look nice in the window. Like that maybe. and then put a little mark to say where it's going to go. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it straight into position on the back paper. Double check, it's a little bit too low. There we go, that's a bit better. Yeah, that's it. There we go. Now, next, because we want it to be, obviously, to shake when you open it, you know, you want to be able to shake the pieces around. What we now need to do is to put some tape around. I'm going to put some tape around the whole thing, I think. Yeah, so we're going to put some tape. And this is too wide, so I'm going to cut it in half. Which is not all that easy actually, but you can do it. Preferably without chopping your fingers at the same time, because it's sticky. There we go, chopped it in half. That one's going around on that side. This one completely buttered up against, because otherwise it won't work. Butt it up against that end. If it's not properly buttered up, your bits that you're going to put in a minute will fall out through the gap. Unless they're quite large pieces. Let's face it, we don't usually use quite large pieces, do we? There we go. All right. We can take the backing off. And yes, I'm well aware that I've put the tape around the aperture, not around the entire card. Because when I thought about it, I thought this might be better. Put it around the whole card if this doesn't work. If you prefer it the other way, that's entirely up to you. All right, so let's put some more sprinkles in. Have some of those. I have some little blue ones, I think. I don't want too many. A couple of those. I think that's probably enough. And once I've done that, then I'll lay this down. Onto the top. Right. Okay, so number 2. This is a 5x7 piece of card. So I'm going to cut my backing a quarter less. So it's 5, take away a quarter, so it's 4 3/4. By 7, take away a quarter, so that's 6 3/4. And what that does is that gives us a border, a smallish border, all the way round of 1/8 of an inch. Or you can put it all to one corner and you'd have 1/4 of an inch, yeah? So there we go, there's your 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I'm just going to glue that into position before we do anything else. Here we go. Make it as even as I can. Quite like things Katie cornered, but not the matting. Right, so that's your mat. Now, I've chosen a few bits from that pack. I've chosen a couple of birds and this panel, everyone should have a friend like you. And I thought if I put the panel in the middle somewhere, and this bird can go on the bottom, and this bird on the top. I have to move across a little bit so that it can show. I've cut a bit of leaf off of that. Look, it did have this bit on there as well. And got in the way, so I cut that bit off. So you can see the writing underneath it. Like that. And then the two birds are the friends. Okay, so we'll glue this one into place first. Double check it's in the right place. Made it a little bit too low down. There we go. Right there. Yes. About there. There we go. So. On that one. I don't want it to show. Okay, so we'll peel the backings off. Come on, off you come. This one, I don't want to come off for some reason today. There we go, and the third one, there we go. And I'll put it into place. Now remember, because of it being foam squares, the moment you put it down, it'll stick. You can't move it. I mean, you could put a little bit of glue on, I suppose, but there we go. That one. And another one. Take off the backings. There we go. That's the backings off. Don't put it on upside down. Wouldn't be a good idea. Oh dear. All right. Yeah, up to the beginning. Put it at the bottom. There we go. What do you reckon to that one? Do you like that one? I quite like that one. And number 3. This one is 4x6. It's a smaller card. And I found all these strips in the kit, plus a couple of bits that were offcuts from the last time. And all I'm going to do is glue them on. And I'm going to do them a little gap in between each one. So we stick that one at the top there. A little gap. There we go. And glue everywhere. That's because I haven't cut them to size. Next one down. And then we'll have this big blue one, I think. Try and keep the gaps about the same. Not all that easy. You could, of course, cut all these to size before you start. I'm not bothering, I'm just sticking them on. Fine, you can go down there if that's where you want to go. Okay. There. And I'm going to cut them off at the back. That way I can use them for a second row. I'll use one of them for a second row. There we go. Which one? That one? No, it's the same as the one immediately above it. What about that one? Extra blue one. Yes, I like that. So I'll put an extra blue layer in there. Cut it off level. There we go. And then I'm going to put this one on the top. The best time for new beginnings is now. Let your dreams blossom. Which I think is really nice. Might be a little bit too big. No, it'll be all right. I don't think I'll bother lifting it either. I'll just put it straight down. There we go. Like so. And then just to pretty it up a little bit, I've got a couple of butterflies. So we'll have a butterfly up on that corner, and we'll have a butterfly down on this corner as well. And there we go, done. Very quick, very simple. But that is card number 3. So that's 3 cards that we've done very, very quickly, fairly quickly. I've got the shaker and those 2. Which one's your favourite? Turn them around so you can see them all. I'm not sure which is mine, to be perfectly honest. I think it might be that one. Don't know why. All right, so until next time, bye.